I gotta get the door real quick. Our boy, I think I've adequately explained this. Our boy, I did a thing, put a gun on a robot. Okay, I'll be back in 1 second.
How you going? I've been in the USA for a month, and in that time there's been 63 mass shootings, including the Robb Elementary School shooting in Uvalde. And you know, I intended to come here and make something really dangerous, but I've now realized I can't compete with normal, everyday American life. So instead, I'm going to attempt to help and solve America's school shooting problem by strapping a gun to this robot dog. And you may think this is a dumb way of stopping school shootings, and so do I, but there are so many people out there that genuinely believe more guns in the classroom is the answer to a kid bringing a gun into a classroom.
If they beat somebody, a good guy with a gun.
We should have a law enforcement officer at every school.
He has armed law enforcement on the campus and prepare and train teachers and other administrators.
So here's my pitch to you. Let's skip having an armed person in every classroom, as the cops in Uvalde failed to do anything anyway. So instead, every school in America has a robot dog with a gun on it. Then, when an armed person enters the room, bam, the dog smashes out of the cupboard and neutralizes the threat. And the best part, unlike cops, robot dogs don't get scared. But before this is implemented around America, I should probably build a prototype first. And luckily, I have fellow soyboy William Osman, who knows nothing about guns but is good at making dangerous things. Now, the building process was a little bit different to my other videos, as when I came up with this idea, I didn't actually have the robot dog, a gun, or a place to shoot it, which turns out are all quite important. And I do actually happen to know a fellow YouTuber that owns a robot dog that he spent a very large amount of money on, which they've only filmed one video with and is now collecting dust in their house without a gun strapped to it. But unfortunately, that person is lame and didn't want to get arrested. So I needed to find someone else that was keen. And lucky for me, a man named Jonathan Miller that lives in El Paso, Texas, agreed to let me use his robot dog, but on one condition. He needs to remain anonymous. So William Osman and I started the hard process of designing a bracket for the robot dog and a system to remotely fire the gun without actually having the robot dog or gun. And our plan is to use a pre-made gun holder that can adjust to fit many different types of guns, which will sit on top of the dog. Then we designed and 3D printed some parts. And by we, I mean William designed the complicated one, and I designed this cylinder with holes in it. And this system works by having a servo motor here with a string attached to the servo arm, which runs through the trigger. Then all we did was connect the servo to a remote control. And now,
the worst part about this is that, like, I can't help but feel like America broke these people's brains, bro. Both Boy and I did a thing. They came to America and they started making videos about like how Disney turned them gay, about putting a fucking gun on a dog. Like, these were wonderful, kind Australian men, okay? And look what we did to them. We destroyed their brains, dude. Wait, is this not trolling? No, it is trolling. I'm fucking around. But once again, proving the point that I always make, that brain rot is our biggest cultural export, just like the top of the hour is the biggest cultural export of the HasanAbi broadcast. At the top of the hour, every hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. By connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. Okay? And you can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Who was at the door? I got my food. Oh, fuck. Why should I tell you who's at the door anyway? Your mom. Your mom is at the door. Like, what a crazy question. Like, come on. I love you guys, but Jesus Christ, sometimes you're like ridiculous. Anyway, like I said, you can avoid those ads, as I mentioned already, by subscribing for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's the 1-minute ad break now. Boom.
That works so easily.
Oh, don't film me.
What did you make, William? It's able to squeeze the trigger of this fake gun, which is honestly already terrifying. This feels like we're doing a terrorist attack.
It feels wrong, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Hasan Piker slander on TikTok is getting trendy as fuck, and people call you a misogynist in so many vids on my For You page lately. Have you seen it? No, because I don't want to get fucking brain cancer from watching dumbass fucking sex work exclusionary radical feminists hide the fact that they're bigoted pieces of shit who use any and every opportunity to you know, say like, oh, well, I'm a woman and I think he's a fucking misogynist. Also, I don't care. Sure, I am a fucking misogynist, okay? There you go. Who gives a fuck? Feminists are so fucking ridiculous. Like, radfems unironically think that their personality or their point of view is more popular. It's not. So go ahead, yeah. Tell people that I'm anti-feminist. What is that going to do, man? Make me more popular? Go ahead. Look at fucking how popular Andrew Tate is. You know what I mean? Look at how fucking popular Andrew Tate is, dumbasses. Why the fuck are you constantly trying to be like, oh, he's a misogynist, he's a misogynist? It's like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, call me a misogynist, dude. Oh, man. Like, thank you.
And now that we've made the system, we need to travel to meet Jonathan Miller in Texas. And barely 10 minutes after we picked up the dog, we realized we messed up. The mounting system was not going to fit the dog how we thought it would. So we had to make some changes, which we couldn't do in our hotel room. So we put on some hard hats and high vis and sat in the parking lot of our hotel with some work cones, and no one asked any questions. And the dog was actually slightly helpful in fixing itself.
You pass the drill.
Except when he got too excited.
You just hear it just scraping on the floor.
But eventually, after 2 hours of using the wrong tools, we managed to get the mount to properly fit. So now we just had to get a gun.
Oh my god.
And lucky for us, we were in the same place as Brandon Herrera, one of YouTube's biggest gun channels, and a man that lives just down the road from the Uvalde shooting and believes America needs more guns. And even though Brandon and I share very different political opinions, I got in touch with him and explained what we were doing. And he agreed to let us go to his range where we could safely shoot the dog, and to also...
It was like, oh, you're gonna strap a 50 cal on a fake robot dog? I'm in. I don't give a fuck what you think, you pussy ass Australians that have never shot a gun. Let me tell you something. I'm in.
So use some of his guns. Now, Brandon has a lot of guns. Like a lot. And definitely was practicing his Second Amendment right to bear arms by owning a missile, a gun for taking down helicopters, and a World War I machine gun. Now, I definitely wouldn't try to rob a man with a missile. But lucky for us, he also had some light, fully automatic weapons which we could put on the dog. And he recommended the MP5, which doesn't have much recoil. And based on the dog's sketchiness so far, I think we want as little recoil as possible. So we adjusted the mount to fit the gun, and then turned on the dog so we could put the mount on top of it.
You don't know when he's going to jump up and strike. Whoa!
We're gonna die.
You know, I'm not so worried about Skynet anymore.
We're gonna die.
Wait, someone said that man owns a 50 cal AK-47? What? For your information, that dude they're with was shilling fake COVID masks that look solid, but everything to own the libs. Oh, that's the guy that me and Ethan looked at. Yo, that guy is fucking crazy. I would not. God damn it, dude. Why do they always have the coolest fucking toys? All the most psychotic motherfuckers have like the coolest shit. He owns a gun manufacturing business?
Alrighty, let's put a gun on this thing.
What could go wrong? Was that his battery?
He shot his own battery out.
And that filled us full of confidence. So we strapped down the gun and mounted it to the dog using some ratchet straps.
Alright, here we go. Ah! Okay.
If you tilt his head, you go the other way.
And I'm starting to think this dog is scared of guns too. He's just shaking all over the place. But it seems like we can still aim in the up and down and side to side directions, and most importantly, can still jump shot.
No, don't do it. Don't
you watch it. You watch it.
Why would you do it? Because it's going to face them as well. Don't do it. I don't know why people do that.
Just stay on top of it.
I want to know what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's joke.
So we think the dog is working well enough. So we packed it up and a heap of guns and took it out to Brandon's private range in the middle of nowhere.
That
And
Max
seeing this
Payne?
robot dog
Is that the Max Payne soundtrack? What the fuck? Oh, Westworld? It sounded like fucking Max Payne for a second, didn't it?
in real life actually walk around with the gun on top of it was pretty surreal and terrifying, especially knowing how easy it was for us idiots with no real experience to make this in a couple of days. But we still don't know if it works.
Whoa!
And it's having even more trouble walking around out here on the uneven surfaces, and most of the time it kind of just gets off balance and then runs off in that direction.
It's still slipping sideways.
But it should still work. So we decided it was time for the very first test shot, which is the perfect opportunity for us to work out the aiming system as well, which is just going to be a GoPro positioned behind the gun sights connected to my phone. Then once it seemed to be lined up with the sights, Brandon put a single round in and I attempted to hit this white claw. But first, a word from the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. I've been using NordVPN since I was a child, and it's allowably useful to act fast.
Keeping it. Do you want to purchase weapons on the dark market, but you want to evade the authorities? Use NordVPN.
Yeah. Well,
By the way, this could have been saved. This could have been, this would have been like way less dangerous, I guess, if they had a larger dog. Yeah, we were going to do a gun range stream together, but then obviously a sequence of mass shootings happened. So we were like, maybe we shouldn't do that. I didn't want to fucking take my Australian friends to the gun range. No, but like, you know, very big ones happen. If you remember, Uvalde and Buffalo.
you ready?
Brandon got banned from YouTube for a week last week because he made the gun that killed the Japanese prime minister. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? Oh my god.
Yes! Nailed it!
Yes!
Oh.
Nice.
And the aiming was pretty difficult, but it is accurate. And best of all, the dog barely moved when it shot. So we moved on and set up some props to test how the dog goes in a school shooting.
To be fair, I think it's pretty funny to ban an American gun manufacturer for, yeah, you didn't hear that wrong. We're gonna do that in a second. after I'm done making the ironic point that YouTube banned this dude for manufacturing a gun, for manufacturing a weapon, when in America, you could just easily purchase a much more successful gun if you wanted to. Also, some of which he actually manufactures. So that's pretty funny to consider.
So we moved on and set.
YouTube's like, hey, only if you can make the new AK-50. You can literally, you can make a 50 cal AK in your manufacturing, in your factory. But if you make like a ridiculous weapon that was homemade to kill Shinzo Abe, then, we're going to have to ban you.
Up some props to test how the dog goes in a school shooting situation.
I think our aim is going to be to not shoot the children.
That's a pretty controversial statement.
And I thought the gun boys would stop us when we whipped out the school kid targets, but they were still keen for me to put them up and run through a school shooting scenario. And I feel bad even setting up these targets to shoot, so let's hope the gun dog is accurate enough to only take out the bad guys.
So we're trying to hit this guy?
Yep.
And this guy.
And this is where it starts to get very dangerous. As before, it was stationary, but now the dog is going to be running around with a submachine gun with 30 rounds of ammunition.
This is starting to feel very real now.
Yeah. Now I'm nervous.
I'm really nervous.
And it wasn't only us. The gun boys were also very nervous around this gun when it was placed in the hands of something unpredictable.
That's the funniest part. I have to mention something here. If you've ever met a gun nut, especially one that has like a range or whatever, they are, unless they're like literally just them and like a couple of their homies, they are some of the most careful motherfuckers you've ever seen, right? Why? Because guns in the hands of an unpredictable thing are deadly, which is hilarious. It's so fucking funny, but they cannot comprehend a world in which that should be extended to legislation. They know it's deadly. Everything I've learned about how safety around guns, I've learned from a gun nut. You know what I mean? If you ever go to a gun range, there is a gun nut there who's like, you better keep that shit aimed down the range at all times. Like, that's the first thing that the gun nut will teach you when you go to the fucking range. Because they understand that it's a murder weapon. That's the point that I Did a Thing is making here as well, by the way. All of a sudden, all the gunbows in there are a little terrified. Turns out maybe it's not good to have an unpredictable thing hold a weapon and shoot it. Finger off the trigger unless you want to kill, and also let's see if the shotgun can shoot Legos. No. There's a difference. Dude, shooting shit with guns is fun as fuck. Come on. I completely understand that. If I'm going to be honest here, all right, let's be real. Shooting crazy shit with guns is a fuckload of fun. Okay? I hate when you say that. Well, it's just the truth. Okay? It is literally the truth. And you have to be incredibly safe. But I also understand that safety should be extended to legislation. Okay? That safety should be extended to legislation. That's the difference between me and a fucking gun nut. And that difference is I understand the importance of the safety measures that they individually try to take when they have someone who is untrained holding a gun around them. Okay? So the gun wasn't built to shoot fun stuff, it was built to kill people? No, I understand that. I get it. That's not, I'm completely aware of that. I don't know why you bring that up. That's my argument. I know.
And based on how much it loved to jump around, I don't think we can really be behind him. So the plan is to hide behind a mound on the left from where we can safely control the dog. I would be on aiming duty, and William would be controlling the safety remote, which needs to be turned on, and then also shooting.
What do you call this position?
The T-pose.
What does it do?
It makes it obvious that no one is touching the remotes.
So I set down the dog in front of the targets. And then Brandon cocked the first round, and we were ready for the real test.
Okay, honestly, yeah, the only guy who's crazy enough to allow something like this to happen is a guy like Brandon.
And I very quickly realized a problem. I thought I'd be able to hide behind the mound and control the dog, but the mound interrupts the GoPro's signal. So I actually need to place my hands above the mound with a line of sight in order to control the dog.
Even if we're above the berm, we're fine, because if some wonky shit down, all we have to do is get below.
There's also, yeah, I've got it aimed on a couple of things.
There you go.
Okay.
Shoot. You want me to shoot? Trigger's armed. Tell me when.
Yeah, shoot.
Trigger disarmed.
Shoot. Shoot. No, easy. Pull it and don't shoot.
Okay, it's disarmed.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot. Shoot.
Did you guys forget the siren?
Dog fell over.
Oh.
And after reviewing the damage, it was worse than I thought.
Oh, Alan!
Wait, what?
Absolutely face shot this kid. That was a kill shot. If that's what you were going for, you did a great job.
I wasn't going for that. I was going for.
Fun time to mention that the NYPD active shooter target hit rate is 17%. So give or take, the dog is doing pretty much the same. That is, of course, if the dog, if the police force was actually brave enough to enter an active shooting situation. You know what I mean? So the simulation is pretty accurate.
His bubble.
I didn't hit any bad guys, and I took out one kid. It's alright though. I think I've worked out the problem. We need more ammunition, and we need the gun to be fully automatic.
Uh-oh.
What the f are you doing?
Bro, that's literally terrifying. What the fuck? What if you accidentally drop it while you're there and then the gun fucking fires? Oh my god, I hope there's no bullets in there at the moment. Oh my god.
And you know how I said I was scared of this thing before? And people online are always saying how scared they are of these becoming the future of warfare? I now kind of feel the opposite and less worried about robots. These things are expensive and, more importantly, idiots. And if the military
No, that makes it worse. That makes it worse than anything else.
wants to kill people, it's always going to be cheaper and easier for them to just trick young boys into doing it for them.
Yeah, she is in rock and roll.
Shoot.
Full auto.
Wow. Shoot.
You know, when I used to play Metal Gear Solid when I was younger, I always thought like, oh, this is definitely the future. I just didn't think one of the fucking evil scientists behind the development of said weapons would be a friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like, I knew that this was going to happen. I just didn't realize that, like, I would have a direct relationship with one of the scientists that is, like, advancing the technology. which is weird.
And the dog really can't handle the gun and always ends up on the ground. And not only that, the recoil causes the dog to run backwards while freaking out and lifting its legs in the air, spraying across all the targets. But this time, I did a little better with the aiming and managed to hit our school shooter twice in his vital organs, his finger and his bag. So this time, in order to guarantee we would hit the target, we placed the dog directly in front of this old man. And then tried again with another full 30-round magazine.
You get about one burst before the dog falls over. Got some good hits. The leg there, that's a nice little femoral bleed. This guy's not going to be doing any kitty diddling anytime soon. Got
Whoa.
2, 3, 4.
What mouth
5,
shot.
6.
His mustache.
Dude, that's pretty
so it
good.
works if you start it completely dead on with something in front of it.
Yes, exactly.
In terms of aiming, oh my god.
Was there any collateral? Oh my god.
Collateral here.
Why every time I hit a kid, it's just a headshot?
And at the end of that, we hit 2 bad guys and 2 kids, which isn't actually that bad and is a similar rate to normal American police. But there was still one thing I wanted to try, a real jump shot.
Yep.
All right, we good to go?
Yep.
Gun is live and on semi.
And as you can see, I don't think I've really solved America's school shooting problem. It's almost as if the more guns you have in the classroom, the more kids get shot. But I don't think this whole thing has been a complete waste of time. And I think I've realized how this dog can really help American police.
Oh my God. This fucking guy, bro.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like that, please subscribe and check out some of my other videos.
So the main reason for why militaries are experimenting with using robots for warfare is kind of similar to the same reason why drone warfare is so effective. There's 2 reasons. One, less collateral damage or less damage to the actual person who's like engaging in drone warfare. You're not sending people overseas. And 2, when you remove the person from the fog of war, or when you remove them from like actual combat, they are more likely to pull the trigger with ease. Now, did you just link the wrong video, Young Peasy? That's so funny.
Well, Boston.
What the fuck is this? You literally linked the weaponized robot dog goes viral on Twitter video, Peasy. Frickin'. You frick. People saying robots don't get sick, they don't get radiation poisoning. No, that's not the main reason. The main reason is robots don't have morals. If it's a human-controlled robot, you're making it easier for the person behind the machine to engage in civilian, like kill civilians, kill random people, because they're removed, right? It's not like there's a difference between killing someone with a knife, which is very personal, versus killing someone with a gun, which can at times seem, less personal, versus killing someone with a fucking drone strike. Okay? That's basically the same thing here, but then also the additional ease of which you can, you know, control the population if there's a mass uprising, as a matter of fact. When you have like artificial intelligence, or when you have robots that are trained for this sort of thing, like robots that are created specifically for this, it makes it much easier to, you know, stop the population from rising up. Because if you put soldiers with guns to the task of controlling a population, sometimes those people are going to say, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill my fucking grandma. I don't want to do that. I don't want to kill my neighbor. Whereas a robot does not have such moral qualms. You see it in the Benghazi videos. The U.S. soldiers behind the gun don't even seem to grasp what they're doing. It makes it just like a video game. Yeah. So. Oh, dude, I saw this. Speaking of gun nuts, what it's like to fire an AC-130 gunship. I don't want to watch this. Partially because I watched it on TikTok. And I just don't want to watch this because you're going to have me admit that that's kind of a cool thing. Like, it's just disgusting. It's awful, and I hate it, and it's war propaganda, but it's so fucking cool, dude. It just sucks. I don't want to look at this, okay? I don't want to look at this. There are freaks who will join the military just for seeing this video, 100%. So we're not going to watch that. Another political I Did the Thing video.
How you going? Everyone loves drones.